You know what meme I'm putting here.
I'm a bird.
Anivia is the bird with the word, and that word is support, baby. She's always felt so good as a support, and she brings a lot of scaling, good early game damage, and CC, as well as a crazy amount of zone control, especially post level 6. So we're going to get into everything that makes her so incredible in the support role. First thing I want to talk to you about is that level 1 bait, baby. 100% of the time this works no matter what. No one knows how to play against Anivia, and I'm sure you can't guess what I'm going to tell you. Push up and fight level 1. Get a stun, get your damage in on the enemies, and take all the damage from the enemy. It doesn't matter. They will try and engage again, and they will get caught by your passive every time. I kid you not. Every game, you'll get a kill because they overextend and try and get you, and you just full heal with your passive. It's so funny. After that, you do want to be careful with your Q. If you aren't used to it, it is slow. And it can be hard to land, so you might need to get a little bit closer to get a hit. Honestly, it's almost impossible to hit at max range, but once you land this ability and you throw your E, and we're going to make sure to max your E, because enemies stunned with your Q, or if they stand in your fully formed ult, will take double damage from this ability. If you throw out this ability by itself, then it's okay. It'll deal some damage, but it's not ideal. Now, your wall is extremely important, especially if you're trying to keep enemies from backing off or stopping them from engaging. It can sometimes be difficult to get the correct location, because if you wall too far, then you'll actually push the enemies closer to your teammate. But hey, if they're going to die anyway, then you might as well have given it a shot. No harm, no foul. But the best use of this ability is to stop your enemy from backing off, and it can be comboed really well with your ult. You throw down your ult, throw down the wall behind it, and now they have to walk completely through your ult to go around the wall. And then that'll also give you the opportunity to stun them with your Q, do E for the double damage, and that's a lot of damage. Now, early in the game, you'll really just have your Q and your E for your damage, but once you get your ult, it's just a bit nutty, because the lane is now yours. You can completely stop any pressure that the enemy had, because you can cover the whole lane. You have your ult on one side, and you just wall off on the other, and they are just kept away. Keep them behind your tower, and you can just poke at it. It's really disgusting. Now, it's already disgusting in lane, but just remember, you're a scaling champion, so once you get to that late game, we are just gonna team fight like a monster. We throw down our ult in the middle of everyone. Slow, deal damage. There is so much that can be done in the late game to get your team some space and just deal a ton of damage. And also, once you're out of lane, you can stop almost any push. With your ult and your Q, it just instantly clears waves. In one of the games, we are dealing with this mega fed split pushing Gnosis. I completely took him out of the equation in terms of his split pushing, because I can just instantly clear the wave, and I did just that. He could not get any minions to the tower, so he couldn't push, but we still ended up losing because he just joined a team fight and he's just mega fed. Item choices are really key for Anivia. Other champions, I'd just be like, oh, just build AP stuff. Not her. You need a ton of mana because you use a ton of mana. So you go Rod of Ages. Not only does it give you the mana, but because you're in a duo lane, you'll have less XP, and it keeps you scaling up into the late game because it gives you that free level. Then honestly, you just want to build standard Anivia. Mana, damage, sustain. You know, the normal stuff. But do remember to pick up a tier early. For runes, we want to make sure we take Electrocute for some early damage, Cheap Shot because everything we do procs it, Eyeball Collection for more damage, and Relentless Hunter for more utility movement speed. Then we're going to go Mana Flow for more mana because we're going to need it, and Scorch because we just do continual damage, and this just works wonders with that. You can do blue as your main tree, but honestly, I don't think it would really be needed. Now, let's take a look at the game where this worked out really well for us. If you're liking the content, please subscribe for more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up if you're liking this specific video. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this pick. Now, we didn't go crazy on kills in this early game. However, we had a great use of our abilities, so I had to show this one. Early in the game, we landed some good stuns and damage, and we were able to get an early kill on the Smolder for our ADC. Then after some time passes, I'm able to catch the enemy support trying to ward. Not in my lane. You want to ward, you're going to be stuck with us. This is a great way for an easy kill or to just force the enemy's flash. And we do both. Then after a while, the enemy thinks they have me. And this is a great example of the egg bait. They think they can get you, keep on coming into their own death. I told you, it works 100% of the time. They always forget your passive, or if you've already used your passive, they never keep track of it, so they always do it again. Now after that, unfortunately our ADC and jungler die trying to defend our blue buff from an invade, but we are able to get a fantastic double stun to pick up one kill, and then we stop the enemy from retreating with the wall again. Now we are back in lane, we're pushing up pretty aggressively, and we get ourselves in trouble. I keep myself alive, but after a flash Q, our Caitlyn is not so lucky. The Morgana ends up missing her Q, and we end up dying. Just kidding, it's an egg, baby. I told you it'd work again. Our jungle is able to come in after that and just clean up. And for this game, I am just on point. We lock the Morgana from going one way with our ult, then lock her again another way with our ult. This allows our ADC to get a nice pickup kill. The enemy jungler comes in. We're keeping the Smolder at bay. He lands a Q on our ADC. However, the Talia dumpsters that lead with her E. Then we just take tower, and now it's time for the mid game. Not gonna lie, we failed the roam. Nothing happened. No one died. That's fine. We come back down to try and catch the Smolder out, and we do. Mwah, chef's kiss. Another great stun wall combo, baby. And with everything that happened, this is actually our first kill of the game. It does not feel like it because we are an absolute menace. Now, after a bit, we end up in another fight. It is not our best fight. We land some good abilities, however, we kind of screw up our wall trying to separate Syndra from the Camille, but we at least tried. A perfect example of what I talked about earlier. And now, it is time for our burst damage. Alright, enough of that. Now, when we don't have an opportunity to burst down the enemy, we play around our abilities very nicely, using our ult to be able to kite out the enemies, the stun to keep them away and to keep them in our ult, then our E to throw down some additional good high damage. Later in the game, our abilities cooldown is very low, and we make sure to use them to their full potential. And that's it, we did it! We won the game, and if you enjoyed this video, check out this one, where we make our enemies leave the lane 80% of the time. Talk to you later!